You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hello, this is Voss here from theChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there are these things that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show. For 16 years, the oldest broadcasting podcast that still does daily broadcasts. There's no one else out of the handful of the oldest podcasts that are left still doing dailies, but we're in here just like we do all the time. Support the show. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok, and all those crazy places in it. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today, we have an amazing young lady on the show. We're going to be talking about her book called A Girl's Road Trip from Texas, U.S. to Prince Edward Island, Canada. Eula Woodyard McKown joins us on the show, and we're going to be talking to her about her insights, her experience, and all that good stuff, and what goes into her book. Welcome to the show, Eula. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for coming on the show. Give us your .coms. Where can people find out more about you on the interwebs?
I am on Facebook, but other than that, there are some videos about my book on YouTube. If anyone just looks for my name, searches for my name, they will come up.
And you have a YouTube channel then?
My publishing company has done that.
Oh, okay. All right. And then, so tell us a 30,000 overview of what's inside your book.
The book is the story of my sister and two friends driving all the way to Prince Edward Island. We planned it around a conference that Vicky, one of the women, was having in Boston. The idea was to go to Boston, but we liked the Anne of Green Gables stories, so we decided we wanted to go to Prince Edward Island also.
The beautiful ends of Canada. At least I believe they're beautiful, are they?
They are.
They are, yeah.
Edward Island, Prince Edward Island sand is red. It's not white or gray.
Oh, really? Isn't that interesting? So the story is about the four of you. You're on your way to this thing. Give us some tease out on some of the different scenarios or stories you guys came up with as you were traveling. Looks like you went through a lot of states and saw a lot of stuff.
One of the things that we enjoyed with traveling, and this is the way I've always traveled, is plan where to go, but not plan where we're going to be each night. No hotel reservations in advance, really.
Really?
We traveled as far as we wanted to go and then found a hotel for the night. We knew when we needed to be in New York because we were meeting a friend of mine in New York for a brief time, and we knew when we had to be in Boston because Vicky's conference was in Boston. And our first stop was Bardstown, Kentucky, to see the Stephen Foster musical. And we just did what we wanted to do. If we had plans to do something and we stayed somewhere else longer, we just changed our plans.
That's the really, as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the best ways to vacation or travel. If you got this agenda, like I've been on vacations with sometimes girlfriends that they have more work going on or more appointments, and we have to be here now at this time during a vacation than I have during the day at work. So it can be a little. I came here to relax. I didn't come here. We got to get up at 6 o'clock. No, we're on vacation. Hence the vacation part. So, but this is that to me. That's the best way to do it. I do a lot of photography, and on Saturdays I just go wander. I don't really have an agenda. I'm just looking for something that's interesting to me. Sometimes it's built, sometimes it's horizons. But being able to leave that optionality open to you, I think leaves a lot of chance for serendipity. And that's what you guys probably experienced in some of the stories you came across in the book, was the serendipity of being in the moment and letting that play out.
Yes. I have a friend who told me one time that she would like to travel with me because when she went on a trip, she always wanted everything planned out, where she was going to spend the night, have hotel reservations and everything. And I told her I don't travel that way.
As long as you don't get unlucky, and sometimes there's like a big concert in town or some big crazy event and all the hotels are gone. But, if you're living by that way, you drive an hour or two and you can get to the next, maybe a place that isn't so overrun with the tourists or something. I don't know.
That happened with friends and I when had gone to New York one year. We were going to stop in Richmond, Virginia to spend the night, and all the hotels were full. They told us if we came on the west a ways, we should be able to find one, and we did. Didn't have a problem.
Yeah. What were some other stories that are some of your favorite in the book you can tease out a little bit?
One was when we returned from Prince Edward Island, we came back through the town where we had entered Canada, and there was a restaurant that advertised lobster rolls, and my sister said she wanted to try one. And she asked the waitress what the cost was. The waitress told her, and she asked, why did it cost so much? And I realized that she was talking about a dinner roll, and the waitress was talking more about something more like a sandwich.
Ah. Sometimes, was it getting lost in accents or lost in just communication, maybe?
My sister just wasn't comprehending at the moment that it was like a sandwich instead of a dinner roll.
That's why it helps to have other people around to help you understand these things, right?
One of the things that people enjoy in the book is my sister who went with me and I are identical twins.
Oh.
And we had people who compared us because they realized that we were twins.
Ah.
And
do you guys ever have a lot of fun being twins, doing stuff like, I don't know, confusing people on purpose or anything like that?
We've had fun when people see us and think we're the other one.
Yeah.
Her son, I went down to see her at Easter one year, and her son was in college at Brenham, Texas. And he'd gotten a ride home, and Brenham is probably about 100 miles from his house. And he wanted to go back home earlier than his friend was going. And I told him that I could just take him by college because it didn't matter which way I came home. And on the way, we had to stop and get gas. And we stopped at we were on a farm to market road and stopped at a small convenience store. And he started pumping the gas, and I went in the store. And the clerk looked at me and said, "Hi, how are you?" And then she looked at me and she said, "Oh, you're not who I thought you were." I said, "Who did you think I am?" And she said, "Julia Nation." And I said, "That's her son pumping gas for me."
Ah.
I said, "She's my twin sister." And the woman recognized Robert, my nephew. That's why she thought I was my sister.
Ah, that'll do it. You got to watch out for that stuff, right?
But we have had a number of instances in college. We had one double date one time, and we went out to a restaurant to eat. And while we were there, we went to the restroom. And when we came back, our dates insisted that we had changed clothes and switched places. We had not, but they really believed that we had.
That's one way of doing it. And what was the proponent that made you want to write this book? What fired you up and you said, I'm going to sit down and write this story?
On this trip, and I guess because I'm the one who said, "Do you want to go to Boston?" And what had given me the idea to go to Boston is I went to economics conference at the Federal Reserve Bank in Dallas. And one year the leader said they were thinking about having the conference in Boston next year. And so I came home and started talking about going to Boston. And we planned the trip. And I normally do not make any notes on the trips that I take, but I did make notes every day for that one. And when I got home, I decided that I would type it up on my computer so I could give each of the three women the story that I had. And I did that. And a friend asked me one day if she could read it, and I let her read it. And when she gave it back to me, she said I couldn't stop reading until I finished it.
Oh, wow.
And then I decided that it might be good to have published. It's a small book. It's only about 70 pages, but there's a lot in those 70 pages.
Yeah. A lot of fun times and stuff. What do you hope people come away with when they read the book?
I hope that they feel like they were on the trip also. Lynn, one of the women who took the trip with us, had passed away by the time the book was published. So I sent it to her daughter. And I asked her daughter a little while after that how she liked the book. And she said, I felt like I was on the trip with my mother.
Oh.
So I was pleased about that. But a lot of people say, the reviewers say that it's good for a person who likes to travel but can't travel to have the vicarious experience of being on the trip.
Yeah, yeah. And I imagine there was a lot of fun times, but maybe there were some crisis moments. Maybe what were some your favorite crisis moments you overcame during the trip?
One night we were driving through Pennsylvania, and I believe we were in Pennsylvania, and there was a dead deer in the road, and Vicky was driving, and she dodged the deer, but the left front tires went across it, and it pulled one of the pieces of trim off. There was an 18-wheeler behind us, and the driver saw what happened, and he stopped to help, and then he told us there was a gas station up a little farther where we could go through the car wash and have the underside of the car washed some because the odor was really bad. And he was very nice. We followed him to the station, and he showed us where to go and how to get everything done that we needed. And that put us late getting to the hotel. We had stopped and looked for hotels and had made a reservation at one in Mitford, Pennsylvania. And I told the woman we would be there about 10 o'clock. Then I called her and told her that we wouldn't be there until closer to midnight. And she said, I'll put the key under the mat for you. When we got there, the key wasn't under a mat. It was in the door.
Oh, it's in the door?
It was in the door. We went in and slept. And then the next morning, I went up to the office and checked us in and out.
Yeah, that's got to be a wild thing. Were you worried that maybe someone had gone into the place? They'd found the key under the mat and then gone in, or
in the door?
Yeah,
we didn't really think about it. There were four of us, so if someone was in there, they would be shocked.
Oh, that's good. It sounds like you guys brought some security with you.
No, shocked, not shot.
Oh, okay. I thought you said shot. Well, maybe if you want to tase them, you can do that too. So fun is fun. And it sounds, maybe this would make a good movie, do you think?
There are people who think that it would make a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, Girls Trip. I think they've done movies like Girls Trips, haven't they? I think they have, right? And yeah. So is this your first book that you've ever written?
It's the first one I've had published. I have a book that I started years ago, a memoir book about stories for my family, my mother's family side and my father's family side. Just, I haven't done anything with it. I realized I need to see if some of my cousins would like to have a copy of it because all of my aunts and uncles on both sides of the family are gone now.
Any future books coming out that you...
I am working on another one. As I said, I have a twin sister, and the title of my book is Odd Things Happen, in parentheses, to me, because some of the things I'm writing about are not me. But I have been able to do a number of things because of my sister. And she told me one time that she had not been able to do anything because of me. And I said, you got one thing because of me, and you should be glad about it. She said, what? And I said, your driver's license. And she said, I don't remember that. And we had taken driver's ed in high school. And when we finished, our father took us to the DMV to take our driving test. And a trooper took me out to do mine. And when I got back, I'd passed my test and got my license. And I was standing outside waiting for her to get back. When she got back, she had not passed her test. And when the officer who gave her test found out that we were twins, he changed her score so she could get her license also.
I want a twin. This sounds great. What the hell?
These days, you can't do that because everything's computerized.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think her score was very far below passing. But that's how she got her license. She didn't have to go back and do another test.
That's a pretty good deal. You got to love that. That's a really good deal. Pretty wild stuff with all that and going on. I would have a lot of fun if I had a twin because I'd mess with people. I'd just mess with people all the time. I'd be like, oh, yeah, whatever. And get people confused and stuff. Have either of you guys been married?
Yes.
I would assume, yeah. So did you guys ever play any tricks on your husbands or whatever to fool them that one was the other and the other was the one? Or that
no,
sort of thing
we didn't do that. But when I lived in Irving, there were people who got us mixed up. And when I got married, I moved to McGregor, which is close to Waco, and I was working in Waco, and I worked with a woman who was also a twin. And they had a bedroom set for sale, and we bought it. And when we went over to pick up the bedroom set, my husband was talked to her husband, and he got frustrated at things that we did. And it was interesting because he talked to her husband about being married to a twin. And when they got through talking, he told me he understood more about being a twin. He wasn't as frustrated at some of the things we did as had been before he talked to him, because he found out more twins do things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be fun to mess with people. I don't know, you go in to buy something at the store and one twin goes in and buys something, and then the next twin goes up and buys something again, and the people are like, didn't I sell you something? And you're like, no, that's the first time I've ever been here.
Really interesting stories is we have a college friend who was a year behind us in college. And I taught in the town. First 2 years I taught after I graduated from college. And she was in college. And when her second semester, all she had to do was student teach. So when she finished student teaching, she moved into the apartment with me. And then we taught together the next year. My students knew that I had a twin sister. And some weekends, some Mondays when I went back to school, some of my students would tell me they saw me and my sister over the weekend. And I said, no, you didn't, because my sister wasn't here. People thought that my roommate was my twin.
Oh, wow.
And when she got married, I went to the Dallas area and picked up her sister and children to take to her parents' house to get ready for the wedding. And her brother-in-law was going to go later. We stopped at the store where they lived because her sister wanted to buy something. And when she was checking out, I was standing at the counter, and the clerk looked at her and she said, she looks more like Patsy than you do. Patsy was her sister. And I have a picture that everyone thought was my sister and me, and it was actually Patsy and me.
Oh, wow. That's funny. That's funny. With the future books coming out, do you have an anticipated release date?
No, I haven't finished writing all the stories for it.
Okay. So we'll look forward to that coming out and all that good stuff.
Yes.
And anything more we need to promote while we have you on the show here? Anything on your web services you do for people, consulting, coaching, anything like that?
No, I've had a small business for a while. I've made DVDs from videos for people, and I
really?
Scanned slides slides, pictures, and negatives for people and put those on CDs for them.
Huh.
I had a bunch of slides, and I decided to scan them. So I bought a scanner and did that. And then when I got through, I thought, other people have slides and they don't know what to do with them. So I think I will just start a business and scan slides for people.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, a good offering. Scan the slides and do all the stuff there for all the good stuff. It's been fun to have you on the show. Thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And give people a final pitch out to order up your book wherever fine books are sold and any place you want people to contact you.
My book is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and I'm not sure where the Audible book will be, but it will be out very, very soon.
All right. Sounds good. We'll watch for that and all that good stuff. Thank you very much, Eula, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And to our audience, order up her books wherever fine books are sold. It's called A Girl's Road Trip from Texas, U.S. to Prince Edward Island in Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.